This is how apps used to get at your data. They asked for your actual password, for a service they had nothing to do with, and people typed it in. Because there was no other way to say, yes, you can read my contacts, without also handing over your email, your drafts, and forever. So now a company you've never heard of has your Google password sitting in a table somewhere. That is the problem OAuth was invented to kill. 4 players: the contractor who wants in, the vault where your stuff lives, the security desk, the only one who knows your face, and your browser, the courier who walks between them. 2 lanes connect them, and they are not the same. One of them is a postcard. By the end, you'll know which, and why every OAuth diagram draws them as the same arrow, which is exactly why nobody understands this. The handoff. You click connect, and the very first thing that happens is you leave. The app sends your browser away, up to the desk. On the way, it says what it's asking for. Read contacts, not read email, not send as you. That's the scope, and it's the whole reason this isn't a password. Notice what the contractor did not do. It didn't ask you anything. It pointed at the desk and got out of the way. Now you type your password. At the desk. On the desk's page, at the desk's domain, with the desk's padlock in the address bar. Look at the contractor. Dimmed. Gone. It is not in this conversation. It cannot see this screen, and it will never see what you type here. That's the whole idea. Your password only ever travels between you and the one place that already has it. Everything else in OAuth is plumbing to make that possible. The trip back. You approve. Now the desk needs to tell the contractor, yes, they're in. And here's the constraint that shapes everything. The desk has no idea where the contractor is, so it can't call. It has to send the answer back through you, through your browser, down the same public lane you came up. So why not just put the keycard in there? The desk knows you're approved. Hand over the token, done. 1 round trip, no faff. This isn't hypothetical. This is the implicit flow. It was in the spec, and for years, it's what everyone building a single-page app was told to do. It's deprecated now, and the reason why is the single most useful thing in this video. Because this lane isn't a tunnel. It's a corridor, and it has no roof. A URL isn't written inside the envelope. It's written on the outside in big letters. And there are eyes on that corridor. They show up right now, and they never leave. Your token is now in your browser history. Any script running on that page can read it, and every extension with tab permissions just grabbed it. The front channel is a postcard. Anyone in the lobby can read it, and you do not write your keycard number on a postcard. So you send a ticket. A code, it goes down the same open lane, the same eyes read it. And that's completely fine because it's worth nothing. It's one-time use. It expires in seconds, and it's redeemed only once by whoever started this exchange. Steal it out of the log tomorrow, and you're holding a torn-off stub for a coat that was collected an hour ago. Now the contractor does something the browser never sees. It picks up a phone line straight to the desk, server to server, direct. No browser, no URL, no address bar. Nothing about this leaves a trace anywhere the user's machine can see. It reads out the ticket, and it proves who it is with a secret the browser has never held and never will. 2 lanes. The ticket goes down the postcard lane, where anyone can read it and it doesn't matter. The keycard comes back down the sealed lane, where nobody can. That is OAuth. That's the spine of it. Except, quick question, where does a single-page app keep a client secret? It doesn't, it can't. Anything a browser app knows, every user of it knows. Same for a mobile app, unzip the binary, there's your secret. These are public clients, and they have no phone line, which means for years on mobile, the ticket alone was enough. A malicious app claims the same URL scheme, grabs the code out of the redirect, and redeems it first. This wasn't theoretical. It's why PKCE exists. So before you ever leave, the contractor tears a stub off a ticket and keeps it. It sends the desk a rubbing of the tier, just the shape. A sh-256 hash, not the stub, and a rubbing is one way. You can lift it off a stub, but you could never carve a stub back from the rubbing. At redemption, it produces the stub, and the desk checks the tier against the rubbing. The attacker has the ticket and the wrong stub, and because the rubbing is a hash, having it doesn't help you carve one. That's PKCE, required for public clients now, and recommended even for the ones that do have a secret. Let's replay the whole thing. Postcard up. Log in at the desk. Ticket down the open lane. Verifier and code up the sealed tube, and the keycard back down it. And there it is. The contractor is in the vault, holding a keycard that opens exactly one door. Your contacts and nothing else. But two things came back down that tube, not one. The keycard expires an hour, sometimes less. So the desk also handed over a renewal slip. When the keycard dies, the contractor phones the desk, shows the slip, and gets a fresh one. No browser, no redirect, you're asleep. That's the refresh token, and it only ever lives in the sealed lane, never on the postcard. Your password never left the desk. The keycard never touched a URL. And the only thing the eyes in that corridor ever saw was a ticket that expired before they finished reading it. One last thing on the mechanism, and it's the one people delete because it looks like noise. State. Your own reference number, written on the postcard going out and checked on the postcard coming back. Without it, I can send you a link that completes an OAuth flow with my account and silently attaches it to your session. That's login CSRF. It's real, and it's 4 lines. And state is not PKCE, different attacks, different fixes. You need both. Now look at what you just built. I've been calling this Connect. You've been thinking sign in with Google. So, where in that flow did anything tell the contractor who you are? Nowhere. Look at the keycard. It says the holder may read contacts. It does not say whose contacts. It doesn't have your name on it. It doesn't have anything on it. OAuth is valet parking. It's authorization, what you may do. It was never authentication, who you are. And every app that read the access token and assumed it identified a user shipped a vulnerability. The thing that actually logs you in is a separate token, from a separate spec bolted on top, OpenID Connect. Same flow, one extra scope, one extra token. And that's the next video. Here's the whole thing on one screen. The postcard lane carries the client ID, the redirect, the scope, the state, and the challenge, and back, the code. The sealed tube carries the code, the verifier, and the secret, and back, the tokens. Never put the token, the secret, or the verifier on the postcard. Pause and screenshot this one. Save it to your prep playlist. This is the one they make you draw on the whiteboard. In one breath, your password only ever meets the desk. The reply has to come back through your browser, and your browser walks a public corridor. So the corridor carries a ticket that's worthless in a minute, and the keycard comes back down a sealed line the browser has never seen. Next, the token that actually says who you are. OpenID Connect, the ID token, and why sign in with Google is a different spec wearing OAuth's clothes. Subscribe so it's in your queue. And in the comments, be honest, how many of you have read an access token and assumed it was a user? I'll go first. I have.